You're watching KITV Island News at 5.
The White House is trying to save President Donald Trump's temporary travel ban. Good evening, I'm Paula Akana.
Good evening, I'm Mike Cherry. The legal arguments were held over the phone this afternoon to decide whether the president's executive order should be upheld. The order halts travel for all refugees and visitors from 7 mostly Muslim countries. A federal judge temporarily put that order on hold. A few states, including Hawaii, are suing the president. The Attorney General of Washington State is leading the fight against the White House in court. 3 judges with the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals heard those arguments, including a judge from Honolulu.
Well, don't tell us you need more time. This is allegations, and I don't think allegations cut it at this stage.
Judge Clifton and 2 other judges are set to decide this week whether or not to uphold the stay of the ban. It's likely that this battle could go all the way to the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, a federal judge has put Hawaii's lawsuit against President Trump on hold.
A hearing was set for tomorrow morning, but it's been put off indefinitely. KITV's Catherine Cruz here to explain why.
All right, time to take a look outside. Some clear skies after yesterday's clouds and rains.
KITV meteorologist Pete Gajano's been tracking some cool temperatures.
Thank you so much, Pete. A local artist will spend 9 months behind bars and 10 years of probation for the death of his roommate. 66-year-old Danvers Fletcher of Makakilo was charged with second-degree murder in the death of Paul Loya. But in a plea agreement, he was sentenced for manslaughter. 2 years ago, the two had gotten into a fight at their Makakilo rental unit. Officers found Loya's body next to a shattered coffee table with lacerations to his head. Fletcher admitted to striking his roommate, but said he didn't mean to kill him. Loya's sister said the sentencing was justified.
He's been out on bail 21 of 24 months since he killed my brother. He needs to sit in that jail cell for some time.
In court today, Fletcher admitted to struggling with alcoholism at the time of the attack and does not remember how it ended. 2 bills that would allow vacation rental websites like Airbnb to collect taxes are moving forward. Those taxes would be collected on behalf of short-term rental operators. Airbnb testified against one bill that would require websites to take down rental listings that do not meet local laws. The company argues that federal law doesn't require websites to police user postings. Hotels and unions have testified in support of the bill. State lawmakers in the House committee passed the bills. They still need to be heard by House and Senate committees. Welcome back. Hundreds of energetic senior citizens put on their dancing shoes today at the Blaisdell Exhibition Hall.
Mayor also cutting the rug today. As for Maleko, how did his partner think he did?
How was it?
The event is sponsored by the City and Bank of Hawaii.
She looked like she was trying to be very diplomatic
I know,
right
she was
there.
trying to think of
Look,
something nice to say.
almost.
Yeah, what's the nicest thing I can say?
I guess the jury's
Kind of
still
hard
out.
to sit on somebody's foot if you're doing the electric slide.
Yeah, just a
That
little
might be
bit.
sore. No. All right, former President Barack Obama soaked in every bit of his post-White House vacation while he vacationed in the British Virgin Islands.
Yeah, check out these pictures. Obama and his friend, Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group, they took on an athletic challenge, if that's what you want to call that. Branson wrote on Virgin.com that he had just learned foil board surfing. So Obama hopped on a kiteboard for the first time to see who could stay on the longest. Branson says it was a close race until Obama continued to ride the surf for about 330 feet on the board, staying on twice as long as Branson.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
He doesn't have to worry anymore about things. He seems pretty carefree.
I think that's the first time he got to do anything like that in 8 years. So
I know.
He's
Right,
pretty happy.
without being criticized for it. So,
Or stopped by the
congratulations.
Secret Service.
Yeah.
Let's feel free.
Yeah. All right, feel free to join us in 30 minutes for all the latest on KITV Island News at 6.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us for KITV Island News at 5. Don't forget you can weigh in on our stories by liking us on Facebook. We'll see you in 30.
See you then.
Well, the president determined that there was a real risk. That's why the president determined that the best course was a temporary, it's a short halt in entry for 90 days while these procedures are looked at.
Secretary of Homeland Security John Kelly admits he should have delayed the order's rollout so that members of Congress could be prepared. But he defended the ban, saying someone trying to harm the U.S. could come in while the order is halted. A ruling on the hearing is expected sometime this week. Meanwhile, back here in the islands, a federal judge has put a hearing for Hawaii's lawsuit against President Trump on hold.
Now, it was set for tomorrow.
Reports. Catherine Cruz, KITV Island News.
All right, time to take a look outside. Yesterday's clouds gave way to sunshine today, but that might not last. Meteorologist Pete Cajano has the very latest in his first forecast.
Yeah, another front moving our way, Mike.
Throwing money at never really made any impact. What we got to think about is managing homelessness.
Paul Drews, KITV Island News.
Meanwhile, a residential street in Makakilo has been cleared of nearly 70 bags of trash less than 1 day after KITV brought you that story. Dozens and dozens of bags of garbage and green waste were left curbside on Makakilo Drive. Neighbors complained and led us to the home on Hulukoa Place where they say the trash came from. A woman there told KITV she would clean that waste up. Well, the city's Department of Environmental Services tell us it sent an inspector to that area earlier today and said the garbage had already been removed before they arrived.
Well, the Department of Health is recommending that whoever received a hepatitis A vaccine last year may be due for a second dose.
Yeah, more than 90,000 vaccinations were administered between July and November of last year. Vaccine manufacturers say more than 100,000 doses were distributed to Hawaii providers during the outbreak. Those needing a second dose are encouraged to go back to the pharmacy that administered the first dose or to know the exact date of the first vaccination. Well, here's something to brag about when it comes to high-speed internet connection. Hawaii schools rank #1 in the U.S. That's according to the second annual State of the States report published by the nonprofit Education Superhighway. The report rates each state on broadband connectivity in America's schools. Hawaii tops the list when it comes to ensuring that every student meets the minimum connectivity goal of 100 kilobits per second per student. Hawaii also leads the way with every school connected to high-speed fiber optic, which allows schools districts to increase bandwidth over time to keep up with technology demand.
All right, side eye, binge watch, throw shade. Just a few of the 1,000 words just added to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. The additions include many familiar phrases that reflect modern culture, how officials determine whether to add a new word, the frequency of use, widespread use, and meaningful use.
You know, the thing is, like, you looked up and down that list, and like one of them that stuck out was photobomb, and I was like,
Right.
yeah, you forget how much you just end up
Using
using all of these words, and you don't even think about it.
I don't know what throw shade means, though.
Oh, you don't want to. You know, no
Okay.
one's going to throw shade at Paula Akana. That's why.
Uh-oh. I better go find that new dictionary.
You have to look that up.
Okay. All right, coming up after the break, Pete's tracking a new storm system that could bring us more rain and winds.
And later, a historic moment last night during the nomination of Betsy DeVos. Hear local reactions on the new Now, the reaction to the confirmation of Betsy DeVos is polarizing, and you've let us hear it on social media. Wendy Kay says, when will people start voting for the person and not the party? She is so not qualified. Think our education system is bad now? Just wait and see how much worse it can get. While Charles Jackson echoes that sentiment, saying the fall of public education and college's funding for students. The voucher billionaires is about to start her reign of incompetence and ignorance. Meanwhile, Kalani Pinau offers a different perspective, saying a change from the outside the box may just be a good idea. Nice to see people judge someone at their new job before they officially start. By the way, it's not like our current public education is the best. We want to know what you have to say about this story and many others that we have online. Log on to our Facebook page and tell us what you think. Paula.
Thanks, Mike. Well, the Oscar nominees met for the annual luncheon, and something looks a little bit different this time around.
Yeah, actors, directors, customers, and sound mixers all standing shoulder to shoulder. This time, more diversity. The Academy has been working hard to be more inclusive and widen its membership. Some actors say they appreciate the changes.
They're not being thrust into the limelight because of the becoming more and more diverse, so storytellers.
The Oscars are coming back from controversy that its nominees haven't been diverse. The hashtag #OscarsSoWhite has trended the past 2 years, but experts say there's still more work to be done to expand opportunities for minorities in Hollywood. You can catch the award show here on KITV when it airs on February 26th at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, a Michigan man woke up $1 million richer, all thanks to a Super Bowl bet.
Dominic Mirabella had been using the 4Play app all season. Valentine's Day 1 week away, and you don't have any plans? Don't worry.
That's right. We've got some ideas on how you can celebrate with someone special, or with friends, or even by yourself. Find out more when we come back.
ITV Island News at 6.
All right, time to turn the pressure on right now. We're 1 week away from Valentine's Day, so the question is, what have you gotten for your sweetie?
All right, for all those procrastinators, tonight's local Yelp brings us some last-minute ideas. Here's Yelp's Emmy Hart.
Senate Democrats say they're taking the floor for 24 hours in an effort to stop the nomination of Betsy DeVos as Education Secretary. So far, 2 Republicans say they'll vote against the nomination. At least 1 more Republican must vote no for the nomination to fail. Public school advocates have been vocal in their opposition of the nominee, who's a strong advocate for school voucher programs. And earlier today, Senator Mazie Hirono spoke out.
In the past few weeks,
the final vote is scheduled for tomorrow. New tonight at 10, a new bill would penalize properties that do not have parking spaces for electric vehicles. The measure would also increase the amount of EV parking spaces. It would require so-called places of public accommodation to have at least 1 EV parking space per 100 spaces by July of next year, and 2 parking spots per 100 spaces by July of 2023. Non-conforming landowners would be fined $200 per day. A public hearing was set to be held today.
Out at the park, at the beach, on a hike, more and more it feels like drones are all around us.
Yeah, KITV's Priscilla Luong joins us now with more on why public agencies feel it's time to regulate the use of drones. In health news, e-cigarette use by teens can serve as a gateway for future tobacco use. That's according to research published in the journal Pediatrics. It says more teens were using e-cigs in 2014. That study showed teens using flavored versions like gummy bear and bubble gum were less likely to see tobacco smoking as dangerous and therefore more likely to take up cigarette smoking. Researchers worry not enough is known about the long-term effects of e-cig vapor. The study also said more than 5 million youth could die early from cigarette smoking-related illness unless youth smoking rates drop dramatically. And adults need vaccinations to keep them healthy and protect against a host of diseases. That's a new update from the CDC that shows that if you're planning on getting a flu vaccination, you shouldn't get the nasal mist. As for the HPV vaccine to protect against cancer, if you start the series after age 15, you'll need the full 3 doses. If you have chronic liver disease or if liver enzyme testing has revealed high levels, you'd be smart to get a hepatitis B vaccine. As for meningitis, healthy adults will now only need 2, not 3 doses of this shot. And Krispy Kreme has a sweet promotion going on. The bakery is offering patrons a free donut with every coffee purchase. It's part of the company's relaunch of its coffee blends, no coupon required. The deal started today, runs through the end of the month. Now, there's only 1 location in the state. That's in Kahului on Maui. So if you got the relatives, you know what to do. They're coming over. Ask them to bring a bunch over.
Yeah, can you go make a trip?
Sure, why not? Why not? Hey, coming up, trash trouble is causing headaches in Makakilo.
Dozens of bags. In fact, we counted 69 garbage bags spilling onto the streets. One neighbor has had enough. How he and a local lawmaker plan on taking on the dirty culprits.
And technology is supposed to spark interest, not your home. The terrifying electrical disaster caught on tape and how it's serving as a warning to others.
Plus, he's